Hey basketball players, today I'm going to talk to you about something that I just seen the other day, and it really brought to mind a great video that I could make for you. This is for players of all ages, especially younger players. So James Harden, who is considered one of the better NBA players this year, he actually was said to have struggled when being consistent and also doesn't draw many free throws at draft day. There were multiple pre-draft scouting reports that said that he struggles with a shot when under contested, and also he does not draw many free throw shots, and he would not be considered a great player because of true shooting percentage in the NBA. Well, guess what? Some team took a chance with him because they didn't look at that scouting report. However, at the same time, James Harden used that scouting report and multiple scouting reports to improve his game. And you can do the same as well. And guess what? Michael Jordan did this as well. If you look back into history and look at Michael Jordan, when scouts and when reporters said that he doesn't pass enough, what did he do the next season? He led the league in assists. He doesn't shoot at a high percentage. He did the same thing. He doesn't rebound. He did the same thing. He also didn't play defense. Well, guess what? He became one of the best defensive players in the league. You as a player need to be able to see what people are saying and not get offended. There are so many players out there right now, some of which that I've trained in the past and some of which that I've coached in the past, where if somebody says, hey, what you need to do is to play stronger defense by getting lower, what would their response be? Well, most players will say, okay, I'll do that. Let's do this. I'll get better. While there are a few players who will get discouraged and think that it's an attack on them. And I've been like that in the past sometimes where a coach has said, stop shooting a three-point shot because you're not making them. So I stopped shooting threes for that team altogether. And we all get discouraged once in a while. However, we have to look back and say, well, let's keep on doing our thing, but let's improve. Why am I missing those shots? Is it because my elbow's not tucked in, or is it just because my legs are not strong enough? I need to jump a little bit more on my shot? What is it? Things like that. We need to really take a step back and say, okay, well, your criticism is fair. What can I do to improve? And if it's a coach saying to you, hey, stop shooting threes because you don't hit them, what you can say to him is, well, I would like to take threes, so what can I do to my shot to make my shot better so that I can make those threes? These are the conversations that you should be having with your coach instead of taking a step back and saying, I'm just never going to play for the guy again. I'm never going to be doing this again. I'm never going to play again. You know what? I'm too short anyways. I shouldn't play. Things like this. There are things that are in our control that we can do to be able to do what we want to do in game. So, for example, back when I was younger, it was said that tall players were not allowed to shoot threes. Tall players were not allowed to handle the ball. Tall players were allowed to be only in the post, and they were not allowed to be more than 10 feet away from the block. They were not allowed to shoot even an elbow shot until I was in high school, and that's when the centers were allowed to actually start stretching out to the free throw line, even though if we were to get fouled in game, we'd be taking a free throw shot anyways. Yet now, we're seeing more and more centers who are 7 feet tall or taller, like Kai Soto, like Chet Holmgren, and many others, Pochazevsky, or however you say his name, from OKC, who can all handle the ball. Bol from Denver is another one who is well over 7 feet tall, who can handle the ball, who is allowed to handle the ball, who can shoot the three. This is literally the future. I seen it happening way back when I was a kid because those tall players wanted to be guards, But they were always told, no, you cannot be a guard because you're tall. You cannot do this because you're tall. That is not your job. Get down close to the net. That is your position. That is your spot. And there are things that are outside of our control. However, we can still learn how to do things like that. What those tall centers, myself included, I was 6 feet tall in grade 6. What we should have done was to take a step back and say, okay, well, if I can't do this in game with this coach, I'm still going to be able to do that on the side when I'm away from practice, when I'm away from the team, so that I can do that with maybe another team future on down the road, or when I play pickup, or whatever it may be, because we never know when we're going to be in a position, let's say for myself, who never grew past 6'2", who was no longer a center and had to transition from center to point guard in literally 3 months. These are things that we really need to take a step back and say, well, I want to do this, or that person's criticizing me. That's good. I want him to tell me what I need to change, because now I can change it. Because it may come back as an attack on you, but if you can take a step back and say, well, you're not actually attacking me, you're making me better. So even though you may be in the gym and somebody says, your handles are crap, oh, your shot is terrible, you can't do anything, you can't play with us. Well, then turn around and say, I can't shoot? Sounds good. I can't dribble? Sounds good. See you in 3 months. And then destroy them in 3 months. Work your butt off and destroy them in 3 months. Things like this. Anyways, that is my thought on what I've seen about James Harden before he had the beard. And basically what we already know about Michael Jordan. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again next time.